Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Alaskans, I believe, deserve a fair share for their oil when companies are making fair profits, and that's what Amendment number 21 does. The problem we have under the existing law, and I appreciate the last amendment, which mostly deals with credits, but the part that we're failing at is what the state brings in revenue to fund our schools, so we no longer have to cut services for people with disabilities, people who are seniors. What we're failing at is a fair share of revenue. If you look at the first page of the handout that I sent out, and these are based on numbers from the Department of Revenue, all new fields after 2002 and all future fields pay no production tax at all, zero, until about $73 a barrel, even when they're making profits, even when they're making good profits. That's not sustainable. And as long as that GVR tax break lasts, that's the rate for those fields. For older fields, they just pay that 4% tax, which, as you've heard, isn't really a 4% tax. Companies get to deduct their credits from that 4% tax, and they can bring it all the way down to zero. And so in FY18, for example, under any versions of these bills, with the amendment, the rules bill, any bill we've seen on the floor, in 2018, we're projected to receive about $15 million in oil and gas production taxes. We receive about $25 million a year from fish and game, from fishing and hunting licenses. More money in revenue from fishing and hunting licenses than in 2018 we'll receive from our oil production tax. That's not sustainable. What Amendment number 21 does is tries to fix that in a very modest way that only addresses revenue when companies are making good profits. For bigger fields, at $55 a barrel, and testimony has been the average field on the North Slope is profitable at $46 a barrel. The older fields profitable at a much lower price. For those bigger fields, older fields, we go to a 5% tax instead of a 4% tax at $55 a barrel when they're making profits. And every $8 it would go up until it caps at a 7.5% tax, very modest, at $75 a barrel. Mr. Speaker, we need the revenue to run the state, to plow our roads, to fix our roads, so we have infrastructure, so we can build energy projects. But we can't live on a 0% tax on new oil. We can't live on a 0% tax on all future fields as long as that GVR tax break continues. And we can't live on a 4% tax on all the rest of those fields, all the way up to $76 a barrel. Alaskans deserve a fair share for their oil. We need to be able to move forward in a way that raises fair revenue from the oil industry when they're making fair profits. The less we do that, the more somebody's going to ask from the dividend, the more somebody's going to ask from an income tax. To have a fair fiscal plan, we have to have fair revenue from our oil. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.